Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my new show, Out of Nowhere. My guest today is Barry R. Frankish, and Barry
Evening.
is a Yorkshire man at heart
Mhm.
who lives with his partner in Warwickshire. His main interest is resonates around the paranormal, especially ghosts and hauntings. Can we please welcome Barry to the show? Hello there.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody.
That's all right. When you talk about how did you get into it then?
I've always had a fascination, but never really delved deeply into it, and I looked more in depth into it until my teenage years. I mean, I had an experience as a child. We went to on the big school holidays. We went to a residential course, and to be honest with you, to this day, I cannot remember where it is, but it was an old disused war hospital. And what it was down near this disused train track. And the story was that during the Great War, this place was used as a place to bring back wounded soldiers for either end of life care or for helping to recover. And the story was, there's a train track nearby. One of the days, one of the nurses was looking after the stores and supplies. Apparently, some stocks fell onto her and killed her. And she still haunts that location. And the last night we were there, the Friday it was, we all saw these beautiful blue lights, turquoisey blue lights in this tree line where the train tracks were.
Yeah.
And I saw myself. I mean, it's turquoisey, lovely turquoisey blue. Anyhow, the wardens who were looking after us seemed to panic a little bit, so put us into his dorms, like one hanger for boys, one for girls. And through that night, no one could sleep because the toilet block was at the end of each dorm. And no one would go on their own. So you can imagine everybody's trying to cross the legs till about 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock. But no, that place has always fascinated me. And even to this day, I'd love to revisit that place, but I don't know where it is. And that was one
Did
of my fascinations. That's one of my early experiences. And from there on, it just seems to escalate. And I hear stories from other people. I get sent accounts, and I just anything paranormal based. It seems to either people find me for it, or tend to come across it.
when we talk about what are ghosts?
A ghost is a simple replay of an action what's past, I believe. A ghost and spirits are two different things. A spirit more harder to explain and understand and prove, where a ghost is more of like a replay, like a videotape, I believe. And we somehow are some kind of trigger button, and we experience what we experience via this loop. So I believe what happens, we might experience whatever. It's not. There's nothing. I don't believe there's anything. But yeah, physical. What you call conscious behind it. I mean, it's just a replay. But like spiritual activity is totally different.
When you have been out there, some people can pick up spirit out there, and some people
Hmm.
can see ghosts, and other people can't. Um, some people can connect to spirit when they show around, and other people say, "Well, I can't see no." So some
Yeah.
people, does it resonate with you that as well?
No, I'm a psychic as a lump of wood. Uh, but I believe what we are as well. I believe like radios. I think some people are more finely tuned. Some people are AM/FM radios, where some people are more digital. Example, and they're open to more frequencies, so I'm able to pick them up more often. But with myself, I'm just analog. I don't. I've got a good intuition. But that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us about your money saving ideas that may be interested to a lot of budding ghost hunters and paranormal researchers.
Well, I wrote a book a couple of years back, which is now on Amazon right now, called Restless Realm, and it's about a few. When I lived in Doncaster, it's a few accounts local to the area at the time, and I put some tips in there, little bits of money. Funny enough, I don't have a copy of my book right now actually either. I don't have
It's
one on
all
me,
right.
but it's simple things like I don't believe to experience something paranormal, you don't need to spend hundreds of pounds or dollars on latest cameras and tech, because I believe technology is a distraction. I think we've got to the stage now, we believe technology, we expect it to do the work for us rather than assist us. So what I prefer to do, I prefer to use devices what we actually income to ourselves. We become a conduit, like for example, dowsing and things like that. It doesn't cost anything. I mean, you don't have any flashing lights to distract yourself. I mean, I do believe it's what's happened now. It's technology can be good. Don't get me wrong, it can be a good thing. Look at medical advances we've made over the last few years. But where the paranormal is concerned, I believe it's more of a distraction.
Yeah, there's a question here. I'll just go find it. Somebody just wrote a question. I meant to say, anybody who's got questions, just get in touch with me. And it'll come up on. Question for Barry. Hi, Barry. What do you think shadow beings are?
I've not really come across
That's
shadow
what
beings.
today.
It could be, I don't know, it could be something, it could be even psychological. I mean, a lot of people look at the paranormal. They always say, look at the normal first before you look at the paranormal. And if you cannot explain away the normal, then it becomes paranormal. But shadow beings, it's weird because you imagine we work most of the time in the dark, and you do get different depths of darkness. And what could happen? We could get a lighter depth of darkness over an heavier one, and it looks like it might be a shadow or a movement of a shadow. And to be honest with you, like I said, I'm not really convinced with shadows before. To be honest with you, it's for me, it's a tough one, that one.
I've seen shadow people quite often in this room. In this room, go out of one wall, through another wall, and just disappear right in front of your eyes. And I think,
Yeah,
what was that? You know,
I had a friend who experienced a full apparition in broad daylight once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in Wakefield when I lived and worked in Wakefield. And I worked in a DIY store at the time, and it was my day off Wednesday. It was a rotor for the weekends. My friend, he was on first break, which was about, from what I remember, about 10:30. And he told me this when I got back into work the following day. And he said what had happened is with the canteen, to get to a toilet, you had to walk through the canteen first. And he was on his own and sat in that room. And he said a chap came through the door and walked through the closed door to where the lockers are now, where they were at the time. And he said he was quite a portly chap, quite short, we wearing a blue boiler suit. And he said, at first he thought he was a customer. He looked that solid until he walked through the door. And it's rumoured to be the building used to be engineering works. I don't know how true that was because I've not looked into it. But before the day after I came into work, he couldn't wait to come and tell me about it. I thought, what a day to take off. I'd love to have seen that.
Yeah, well, we've been in a boiler, so he looks like he was an engineer of some
That's right.
sort.
That's right.
Days.
Yeah.
And he's probably passed over and just happened to be where it is now.
Exactly, yeah. Still doing his work.
You know, when you see a lot of these paranormal shows in America, a lot of it's a bit false, some of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes out to be, you know, it's audience based, basically. You know, they say scream, do this, do that.
Yeah.
What was that noise and all that? And I think, what a load of rubbish some of it is.
I mean, in fairness, it's not just America either. We've had it in our country as well. Certain TV shows tend to hype it up, sex it up a little bit, and be
oh yeah,
every squeak and groan something paranormal. Yeah.
But they shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to do that. You know, trouble is, it's same as anything. If you see any program, it's a matter of it could have took months to do that to find a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, to edit that and put that bit in half an hour. It could have took 3 months to film that bit.
Exactly.
But people don't realise. They think it's happened that day.
That's right. Out of 2 minutes of footage, you could have waited 25, 26, 27 hours just to get that 2 minutes. And all they do is, like, as you know, they condense it down for TV, and it's 2 minutes of clips, and they think that's the whole show. That's it. And it based around that. And another thing as well, what certain TV shows tend to do is put suggestive ideas into people's heads. For example, you'll get a walking around with a medium first, and the medium might pick up, I've got a gentleman in a green suit. And all people look for all night is somebody in a green suit.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I know it's difficult for a TV show, but shouldn't have to go things like that.
No, TV. The problem is with TV, it needs to be. We need to make it exciting for people to watch it. That's the problem. You have to dramatise it and make it look more exciting than what it really is. Because as you know, ghost hunting, you're talking in the dark for hours on end on your own, and it's wet through, cold, and it's not exciting at all. To be honest with you, it's what we do. I mean, there's
Have
no
you ever
drama
been,
involved behind it.
all right, have you ever been attacked or
No,
touched?
not by something paranormal. No.
You know, some people may get feel as though somebody touched them on the head or touched
Yeah,
their back.
I've had bits of clothing tugged and things like that. That's about as far as it's gone.
Because you know, when you talk to other people, I've had other people on my show, paranormal investigators, and some it's really they've been attacked, physically attacked.
Mm.
But I always think, you know, if you're doing anything like that, you need to protect yourself.
I mean, it's another thing. I think protection as well is a personal preference. I mean, I've done many ghost hunts. I've hosted ghost hunts as well, and some people don't believe in protection. Some people just basically don't go with intention. Because I mean, I believe it's like with spirit boards and Ouija boards. I mean, people say, "Oh, you can't go on member evil," but I believe it's down to intent. Whatever intent you put into that, you is what you get out of it.
You've got to know how to use it as well.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of kids in the 60s and 70s was using them for the wrong reasons,
Mm,
and things started to appear, and it frightened them.
yeah. Mm. Plus, as well, I mean, the paranormal as it was then, it's not as it was a bit more, a little bit more taboo than it is today as well. It's more accepted today. I mean, in them days, they were not just afraid of paranormal spirits and ghosts coming through, but the parents as well. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You don't believe in all that nonsense. But now it's more accepted.
Well, I think more people now are coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
It's like when you talk about seeing things in the sky, you know, and you think, was that an alien device up there? What was it? And some people talk about it now who used to never talk about it before because you get ridiculed.
Oh, yeah. It's like anything paranormal. That's why a lot of people in the paranormal world are reluctant, especially when it comes to like ghostly activity and stuff. And even if I caught something on camera, they're reluctant to bring it forward because nowadays, you can do so much on a mobile phone. I mean, I can my phone I've got now, my new one, I can manipulate photographs so much, I can't tell where I've been. It's such advancements. I can put myself in a picture to a place I've never been, and you wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
The problem is nowadays, that's the paranormal world's got hold of these as well. So the more evidence what comes through now, how can we really trust it when technology can do so much for it? Unless you actually
Yeah.
physically see it yourself and get it on, say, for example, 35mm film, because I prefer 35mm because you get if you capture something on camera, if it's on that camera, it's on the negative as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I prefer that methodology. Rather than digital's good in all ways, but I mean, it's too easy to manipulate, and it's too sensitive as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, but if you go into comments up above, click on it, you'll see everybody in chat room. So anybody in the chat room, Alison knows as well. If you want to ask a question, just put it in capitals, and
I
then
I
you can
haven't got
ask
that option.
Yeah, in comments on your right-hand side. Should be just up there.
Chat's all up. I'll press that thing. So bear with me. Oh, bugger.
No, you're all right.
I've got now. I know I'd press something and something would happen, something would disappear.
Oh, it's all right. Anyway, if anybody has any questions in the chat room, I'll get back to you. Yeah, you're talking about you believe technology is not the way forward.
No.
A more than basic approach. What do you use then?
I use myself, torches, dowsing rods. I'm creating something quite different as well at the moment. So this is a little, I'll show you actually. Bear with me.
Right.
I have created, oops, there is it. There we are. This little device. It's got built-in dowsing rods. Because what I believe, that is all brass as well, brass and copper. and a few little bits and
Right.
bobs inside it as well. Now, the plan is for this, because the paranormal, as you know, the paranormal world itself is all guesswork and speculation. There's nothing out there to distinctively detect a ghost or a spirit, because how can you detect something you don't know what base elements are made of? It doesn't happen. So everything what's out there technology-wise today is derived from something else. Say, for example, your K2s is basically a stud detector. It's no more than that. And how I'm looking at it now is taking a couple of steps back and creating devices or using devices that don't take batteries. Like, for example, this is also not just a dowsing box, but it's also a psychometry box as well. So the plan is you put something inside, on a plate inside it, something what may or may not hold spirit essence, and place your hands on it, and you'll get, hopefully, reactions from rods.
Right.
So rather than holding the actual dowsing rods in your hands as you physically would, as one person would, what's the intention is 2 or 3 or even 4 people could use it at the same time by placing their hands on it and using psychometry and the question answering, because you've still got a connection from brass and copper, and that could have the best 2 conductors, and see if anything.
So
Like I say, it's a new format I've thought up of.
So what you got inside it? Some brass.
It's brass plates and brass wiring. Basically, you place whatever object you want to put onto it. Say, for example, if it's a watch or a ring, you place it inside it, put it on a flat surface, and you ask your questions like you would normally for your dowsing rods, and they respond accordingly. Hopefully, that's the plan here. But that
So
is.
have you tried it a few times?
I've played with it. I've just recently finished drilling it. You see, so I've just finished. I did a Mark 1 version, which was just basic wood. But this one is more of a finished project, a Mark 2 type thing. And like I say, it's still not quite finished yet. I'm still not going to show you inside it because I've not finished that yet. But that's the plan for it, and that'll be based on Victorian methodologies rather than modern 21st century.
That's what you talk about. Back to basics.
That's it. Yes, nothing needs batteries. Basically, I have also got an 8mm camera, which winds up. No batteries needed.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Bells. I use bells, old-fashioned bells. I use ribbons, obviously dangling them down. I also use. I've got an old magnifying glass as well, which is brilliant because even if it's quite a large thing like that, it does visually mist up quite clear, quite fast without any effort of it. So I use that as a visual aid as well. So if it gets visibly cold, you can see it on glass.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I also use compasses as well instead of K2s.
Right. Yeah.
Because you still get the same magnetic distractions and that, just that you don't need batteries with no flashing lights. It's all basic methods I tend to use now.
Have you got them ideas off somebody else, or did they?
I've always had them. To be honest with you, I've always had them. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind. I like technology if it's used for the right reason. And don't get me wrong. I've had the ghost boxes. I've done all that. And but I think for me personally, it doesn't work. I prefer to step back a little bit and do it how they did in the old days, like the Harry Price type days.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, and that little box of mine I'm creating, I've got another idea which I won't share with you just yet till I've built it. But it's but it's that same principle of no batteries needed. It's use yourself as a conduit. So if anything does happen, it's not manipulated through electricity.
Right. Interesting. And what made you write your book then?
I've always been fascinated by writing. I've always fancied writing a book, and I thought, I know I'm involved in a few little projects and that. And I thought with Paranormal, I used to do a radio show for 5 years with Tom Warrington. We did a pure paranormal radio show for 5 years. That's stopped now, that has. But the experience from that and the notes I collated and the contacts I got through that show has been phenomenal. And I thought I've got enough back data and experience to put these into words, into print. And during the first COVID lockdown, I thought that'd give me the perfect opportunity to do it. Yeah. And so I did it during the first. I am writing a second book at the moment, which is going to be called The Pocket Ghost Hunter Guide, which is basically, it's my variation of what to take with you and what not to take with you, but everything you carry can carry in your pockets.
Tell us some of the things in your book.
Apart
What
from,
you
like,
wrote, there must
yeah,
be
I don't
some
have a copy at the moment, but it's called Restless Realm. It's available on Amazon at £5.49. Very well priced.
There must be some. There must be some cases in there. What you think? Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God!
the cases in particular were a few work friends gave me a few cases because I wanted to write something different, what no one's heard of before. Because most ghost story books you tend to get, you read them and you've heard the stories before. They're all quite common knowledge. But the book I tend to write, so it's not a small book. It's about 100 pages, but you tend to find it's stories that have been collated and given to me personally, all local as well. Some of the lesser known stories. Also, you've also got in there, you've got a bit about myself, about my history, why I do what I do. And also, there's a few money saving tips in there, which I've just mentioned before. Another cheap way of doing things, well, for safety, because a lot of paranormal ghost hunts, as you know, are mostly done in the dark. And if you go into a location, you don't know where you're going around or walking into things. Or if your torch packed in, for example, you know the little plastic glow sticks you buy and they snap
Yes.
the glow.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
what I tend to do with those is get a load of them and put them in places of significant interest. Like, for example, if it's a place to stay away from, might be a little bit dangerous, snap a couple of red ones and put them red ones around there, like a traffic light system. And in a way, you can walk in place, for example, put a few green ones down or yellow ones. They don't cost anything. They cost £1 for a pack of 50. And
Yeah.
that's all. That's
Well,
all money saving.
yeah. Sometimes you go into a place. I've done it myself in the past, where you think, I can feel that energy in here. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to stop in here for
Yeah,
quite a few hours and see if something occurs.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to look at that as well, like I say, you pick up energies. I mean, give you a perfect example. Like I said, I'm not psychic at all by any means. I've got intuition, but it's like, for example, if someone's had an argument in a room you've not been in, you walk into that room, you distinctly know there's been something going off.
Oh yeah.
It's that kind of intuition you tend to pick up on, and I think spiritual intuitions every much the same. Even if you're not intending to look for it, you walk in and you think there's something not quite right about this room.
Oh, true.
Mm.
When there's been arguments and
Yeah,
it's all gone quiet when you walk in and
yeah,
you look
exactly.
and think,
Yeah,
"What's happened here?
yeah,
Something's
exactly.
happened here," and you try and work out what's happened, and try and sort it out. So, do you go out regular then on ghost hunts?
I since I moved to Warwickshire, I've not done as many as I like to do. I'm part of a group, you see, as well, who actually go out, do events. So I'm part of that as well. So I'll go to locations.
Oh, what kind of events do you do then?
It's places, basically ghost hunts. There's so many people at a time, and take them around places and let them investigate. I'm part of a group called
Oh, right,
Ghost Hunter Tours, which is Midland based, and I'm part of those
right.
guys as well.
So you go to where do you go then? What kind of places do you go to?
We do all sorts of places. We do Grizzly Hall. That's a favourite. But it's a basic place, but it's quite a popular place. We've also do castles. We do stately homes. There's all sorts. To be honest with you, there's too many places to mention. But every year we always get new locations as well. We took the castle, for example, places like that. It's Markham, loads of places like that. I'm still getting used to the area around here, you see. But
Right. Castles should be a really good place to go.
I love castles, definitely. Yeah, castles. I mean, the energy, what's built in them in places.
Yeah. Are you more like a tour guide than taking people around?
No, we basically take them to a location and let them go. So we supervise. We don't directly get involved with what they do, but we make sure people are safe and we give them access to the places.
Ah, right. So you
Yeah,
get access to for them.
that's right. Yeah. Mm,
Oh, very interesting.
yeah.
And have you got many more coming up?
There's a few for next year, but I'm not sure what's what yet. You see, it's a little bit early yet. So I know there's a few lined up. My other half, she's part of the same group. You see, she leads the group, and there's quite a few for next year actually. So yeah, just watch your space.
What do you think about the afterlife?
The afterlife. Yeah, that's a question and a half. Is that one, isn't it? I mean, what can anybody think of the afterlife? Does it or doesn't it exist? That's why we're all here. That's why we answer these questions. It is a fascinating subject, but I mean, like I said, no one's definitively come back and say, look, it's real, it's there. It's once you've gone, you've gone. You cannot come back. I mean, I think what it is, it's a tough one. I mean, I'd love to get a day ticket to the afterlife and come back and say, oh, this is what happens. This is brilliant. It's this. But it's
some people come back in another life.
yeah, they do it in reincarnation. I'm still a bit dubious about reincarnation. But for example, if you're constantly being reincarnated,
we have many lives. We have many lives.
Oh yeah, I mean, the thing is with reincarnation as well is what happens to a ghost theory? If you get reincarnated so many times, what happens to a ghost?
Yeah,
you can't have both. You can't have both. You can't have both.
Ghosts are usually people what haven't gone over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Life. I mean, for example, what would happen if you actually met the ghost of your reincarnated previous self? That'd be interesting.
Well, it'd be a good chat.
It would, wouldn't it? A catch up.
Yeah, you talked about doing a radio show all them years ago.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing that then?
Oh yeah, I love the radio. It's not just the radio side of it. It's the people you meet and contact. I mean, we talk to people all over the world. It's some fascinating people out there. I mean, from 5 years worth of doing that, I've spoken to thousands of people because of it. I've been invited on events. I've done events. I've done speeches. I've done magazine work. I'm doing my second book, and it's opened a lot of windows, I must admit.
But you've just got into writing, you said.
Yes.
And you did it in lockdown.
Yes. Yeah, my first book was during lockdown. I've got notes on my second book, but it's getting time to actually sit down and do it with work and other commitments, you see, as well. But when it's done, it'll be ready.
Have you got any stories to tell us about what's happened with some people?
Not directly stories, not as such. I mean, I get accounts given to me as well, all sorts of accounts.
Yeah, some accounts.
Yeah, well, one chap I used to know in Doncaster, he what you call it, he came from work one night and they were driving down this road, and he said at the side of the road, he's past his chap wearing what looked like a brown, not toweling, but more like Hessian, and his headlamps went straight through him, and he realised at that moment it looked like a figure of a monk. He was walking up the side of the road, and he says he saw the headlamp. He said the headlamps went through some street lights, and he said he could see him walking the side of the road, just like you're walking a dog. No, not a care of the world. So he said that's just silly little things like that. You tend to find people find big experience when we're not looking for them. You go looking for them, you don't find them. It's when you're not looking for them.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I found out that doing research outside as well. If you go expecting to see something, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You have an open mind when you're out there, and then you'll see something.
Yeah. I mean, there is a saying, seek and ye shall find, but you tend to find that with ghost hunts. I mean, people find what they're looking for, but is it what they're looking for? They look at something happens, but automatically assume it's paranormal when it's not. If you're too eager to look for something and find something, you will find it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What else am I going to ask you about? Yeah, you said you had some strange stuff happen to you. Odd stuff happen.
Oh, but yeah, even when even my house are living now. Been in bed on one night, and I've heard distinctive walking and creaking next to where Ben's laying. I know it's not been my other half because she's been either not in the house, so she'll be out on an event, or she's downstairs. And I've heard distinctive footsteps creaking on my floorboards. That's quite a common one, right. That one. Yeah, that's quite common, is that one. I went to a few years back in York as well. I went to a guest house in York with a friend of mine. And it was going back a few years. The guest house itself, I went for a shower Because I always remember this because I was watching Sky TV at the time. Because me and my friend were planning to go out. We had a couple of hours to spare. So what I did, I put the TV on, and the film The Rookie was playing with Charlie Sheen. I always remember that. So I kept that on. So I go for a shower. And yeah, I went into the shower room. Thought nothing out of the and the door handle went. Proper brass door handle. It went straight down. And I saw it. I thought, oh, has somebody let themselves in, not knowing. I went to checked out, and my front door, was fully locked. And the chap did tell me, the lady who owned the place, I mentioned it to her, and she said to me, "Oh, that'll be George, that will." What do you mean, George? Apparently he's a caretaker. This house used to be an old private house, but it was made into 2 guest houses. But there's a spirit called George. Yeah, there's a spirit called George, and he walks round, still doing his rounds, locking doors, putting things straight and things. So if you said we used to do is put things wonky on landings, or a plant pot might not quite straight, and later on it'd be straight. And apparently it's George going around doing his tidy ups.
Yeah, well, they do that quite regular.
Yeah.
You might put your keys down and they've been moved somewhere else. And you think, well, I know for a fact.
It's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that, because the other night when I was doing my tin box, I was drilling and I put my little spanner down and I knew where I'd put it to the left hand side of me. I looked round, it weren't there. And I knew a distance he'd put it there. And looked round again, it was back again. And I knew distinctively where I put it. I thought,
do you live in an old house then?
It's this house is probably post-war, so it's not old, but you don't know what's been here for it.
On the ground below.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and not just that, it's what's been there before that and before that and before that. I know this area where I live now, it's seen a lot of bombings during the war and that, so you just don't know. Because when I lived up north in Doncaster, you get a few little bombings and that, but not as much as got down here.
Yeah, Bridge got a lot of bombs.
Yeah,
Hull did. Quite a few places. Scarborough did.
Yeah.
I know Bridge did, because on the way out from where they were bombing, they emptied.
Yeah, light of a load. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
So you've got some more events coming up next year. You
said?
More
events coming up next year. We're out of my diary. I can't say what's what at the moment, but it's good. Some old fascinating locations. So if anybody wants to join us, it's Ghost Hunter Tours Midlands crew. And if you go onto their website, you'll see the list of all locations next year.
Right. And you're writing another book, you said?
I am planning to write another book. Yes, I've got big notes and everything. It's getting time to put it in a format and I can publish it.
So you don't like using a lot of technology then?
I don't say I don't like using it. I know how to use it. That's the thing. And I'm not saying everyone's like this, but some people just don't use it how it's being made for, you see. It's like cameras. I mean, how can you trust a camera? We don't even know you don't even set the date and time on it properly. I've seen that quite a lot. Photographs of evidence, alleged evidence, and the date's been totally wrong because I've just not set it. And I'm not saying everyone's like that by all means, because I mean a decent photographer will know. First thing you do is get a new camera set up, time and date stamped.
Oh yeah, you've got to do.
Exactly.
Time right. And if I can't do it, I always get somebody to do it for me. I say, put the time and date on there, please. So when you're filming something, you know what day it is.
Exactly. It's not so bad these days because I mean technology, I must admit, it has got easier to use, especially setting times. It's not like the old VHS video recorders. You need a 5-year-old kid to set it for you. You can't do it.
Well, the old video recorders.
Yeah.
I used one of them to film Briglington quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was so easy to do.
Yeah. Ferguson Video Star.
You just put the cassette in and start playing.
Yeah.
You know, dead easy to do. And but does it frighten you, ghosts then? Do they?
No. You know something? I've never been frightened of a location or an experience. It's weird because I mean it should frighten me, but it doesn't. It's like movies. I've never seen a movie what scared me. And it's events I go to. I give me somewhere nice and spooky and dark, and I'm quite happy to sit there for hours on my own. I've never experienced. It's weird because I've never been anywhere I felt like this doesn't feel right, or there's someone watching me. I've had feelings of being watched, but never been scared.
Yeah, a lot of people get that,
Yeah,
saying, feel as though somebody's watching me now.
yeah, yeah,
And you get that feeling though, somebody's here. There's somebody around me, but I can't see them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you close your eyes and you know there's someone. You got a room full of people. You close your eyes, or put your hands over your eyes. You know they're there. It's like that experience, but it's pitch black.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pitch black. You can't see a thing, but you know there's someone there.
So have you been involved with, is it Roku TV then, platform?
Yes, Roku. Yes, what it is, because I am part of the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Inkley in Leicestershire. The proprietor of that place, Neil, he's actually come up with, he's actually created a platform called Ghost Planet Network, which is, I can bit of plug in here for you. I'll tell you what, I'll show you. Ghost Planet Network. You probably see the baseball cap. Ghost Planet Network.
All right.
Part of those guys. And what that is, it's a platform based at giving everybody free to watch paranormal content from UK, all over the place. And it's all down to earth stuff. It's none of this stuff what's been sexed up and dramatized. It's as you see it. And I have got my first episode of Frank Fisher Speaking, which is my chat show, which used to be on podcast, but I went visual with it. And the first one's up there now. And I'm interviewing Carol from East Drive Pontefract, the curator of East Drive Pontefract. And I tell you what, it was a brilliant interview that was as well. Some fascinating facts about that place what people never know. So if you want to watch it, go on to Roku TV, Ghost Planet Network. There's a plethora of stuff you can watch on that thing. There's new content being added all the time as well.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm going to be looking at. I'm doing some more. When I get the chance, I'm doing some more shows, interviewing people maybe on location or a location of their choice, and we're taking it from there and about their experiences, what they believe the paranormal's about or not about, and where things can be taken from there. I mean, where do we go next? Because I believe the TV side of the paranormal, it's all been the same for the last few years. It's all the same format. People go into locations, talk out loud, and there's nothing new come across. And I believe that should change. I believe it will do soon, actually. If somebody will come up with an idea, will revolutionise a few things, and people will think, why didn't we do that before?
We need to do that.
That's what it needs, yes. And I mean, that's why I'm doing creating my own plethora of gadgets and stuff. But my gadgets don't take batteries. It's all based on old technologies. And I believe, for me, I could make a program out of that, and I think I may do.
Well, it'd be interesting to try something different and go out and show people how you use it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's all trial and error. No one really knows. So it's if someone tries, it's like ghost hunting. You know, ghost hunting because what doesn't work for one person doesn't mean it might not work for another person. There's no two people the same.
Oh, we're all different. If we're all the same, we'd be boring.
Exactly.
Have a drink. That's it.
Need that. Yeah, I've had a bit of a chesty cough over Christmas. You see, a bit of a chest. So, yeah,
right, yeah.
Bit of ectoplasm coming out.
Plasm coming out. Oh yeah, there's some strange things happen. I know I did the radio show with Andrew Collins.
Yeah.
And when we replayed it, 20 minutes in, Andrew was talking about interplanetary and consciousness. And this voice came through and it said, explain it really loud and clear.
Yeah.
And we're just amazed. Anyway, we tried to think, did it come from the studio? I was with Big and the Light Radio then. Did it come from the studio? No. Did it come from Andrew's end? No. And it came from this room, we found out, where I'm sat now.
That's fascinating.
And I had Paul Sinclair sat with me here, and we're just amazed where the voice came from. It came from this room.
That's quite, yeah. That's quite clever, that. Yeah.
I was asking Andrew to explain it in a different way.
Yeah, because I you know about EVPs and stuff like that. Obviously, get a voice EVP. I've got an EVP recorder, a modern one, but I've also used a tape
Yeah,
deck as well. I use a cassette player as well.
yeah, I
And
use them.
if you get one on the other, and not on the other one, there's some distinctions there what are differ. So is it because it digital so over highly, I won't say highly strung, but highly sensitive over where tape's concerned? I mean, it's tapes just
It's like
seem to,
it's like using a radio.
yeah, exactly,
Frequencies are so
yeah,
minute,
yeah.
but you
I mean,
might get a voice come through
you've
like
got the
that.
old AM, FM, you've got your shortwave, medium band, you've got your FM frequencies. Now it's all gone digital. It's not the same.
I know. I got one of them meters, cost me an arm and a leg, and it broke. It broke.
Yeah,
I've used it 3 times. Anyway, I give it to a guy who's a electronic expert, and he went, "That's rubbish." He said. He said you might as well just get a remote what you use for
yeah,
Sky.
yeah,
That's all they're using inside it, basically.
yeah, yeah.
You're paying all that money for nothing.
That's it. Because, like I said, there's no legislation in this paranormal world. Because you sell a product, put a ghost sticker on it, and people think, oh, it's a ghost hunting kit. It's brilliant. But inside, a few wires connected to a battery and a couple of lights, so that's about it. There's no kind of sensory. There's no kind of sensory diodes in there, anything like that. It's basically no more than a transistor radio.
Well, it's making money, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
Make
that's
money
why
out of people.
I say I've done it all before. I've done all the gadgets and stuff, which for me, it doesn't work. I like to do my own style, and it's a lot cost effective as well. I mean, I don't like spending money at the best of times. I don't have it to spend. So, I mean, why should I spend my money on something where just because someone has endorsed something doesn't mean it works? I mean, no disrespect to anybody who endorses stuff. I mean, I've endorsed stuff myself, but I'd like to see if I'm endorsing something. I'd like to try it first, see what it does, see what it says, see if it does what it says on the tin, and if it
Where do you
doesn't,
think where do you think the future holds then in the paranormal field?
it's. I think, to be honest with you, it's at the moment we're at a crossroads. There's no at the moment we're stuck at a red traffic light, and we're waiting to go because there's no left turn, no right turn. Only way you can go is forward, but no one knows how. No one wants to go first or knows how to go first. And I said, the technology sides of it, we've done it for years. We've been using technology for donkey's years now, and we still haven't caught anything we can consider concrete evidence. So on that basis, I don't believe we're going to catch it that way. So I think the best thing to do is put your stuff away and try a different concept. That's why I'm doing my old stuff. And it might look weird, it might look different, it's unorthodox, but it's always a paranormal. I mean, there's no
Well, you're
right
trying
and wrong.
something. Point about it is you're trying something different.
Yeah, exactly. And if it does
It
work,
might
it does.
work.
Yeah,
Well, it might work for you and it might not, but you're
exactly.
giving it
But
a go.
exactly, there's no harm in trying. And I say that to everybody. If you've got an idea out there and you think I might get laughed at, just do it. I mean, who's to say it's right or wrong? Because it's new doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Trouble is, it's money, money, money.
It
As
is.
soon as the programs come on again, and they're quite frequent on Sky, they've always got a ghost hunt on somewhere.
Yeah. It's not just ghost hunts now, it's ghost hunts with celebrities.
Oh yes, yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It's always somebody never heard of.
What they call a celebrity, but they're not
Exactly.
real.
Yeah. I mean, celebrity
Found
these
fame
days.
somewhere else, haven't they?
Yeah, it's the word overused these days. Is celebrity. It's like legend. It's like hero. It's used way too much.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. But I'm glad you're trying something different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I've got some stuff here what I use now and then for other purposes, and I'm always looking out for something different. You know, but if that comes off what you're using,
Yeah,
it might be a
exactly.
way forward.
Well, that's it. If it does work, I'll get some reaction from it. What I'll do is I'll add
Use
to it. I'll
hey,
create more
what
stuff.
people have
I'll,
used as well is putting
yeah. I'll tell you
watches
one. I'll
in
tell you one thing
bags.
I do.
Very
I'll tell you one thing I
important.
do use. The one thing I do use in technology terms, when I do my talk show, I do have technology, and I've got what's known as a AI cameraman. I can't really show you it now because you actually sat on top of it. And what it is, it's about the same size as that Coke can. Yeah, that sits on a tripod with the camera lens, with a camera lens on top of it. Now, this AI cameraman, what it does is when you set it, you press a little button and it scans the room. It now knows there's only me in this room. So what happens is it'll follow me around. So if I move like that, it knows where I'm going. Go that way.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
It knows where I'm going. Now, when I interview Carol at East Drive, it was myself, Ames, my partner, and Carol, the three of us. And it scanned, it registered us all. It told us all three people. And we were interviewing Carol. I was sat on one end of the sofa. If you watch it, you'll see it actually. Carol on the other end. Now, there's a particular part of this room we was interviewing. Carol said there's always activity happening. And it panned 2 or 3 times to that particular area where his rocking chair was sitting. It picked something up. We don't know what it was, but we left it on to make it more authentic as well. And that's on now.
What kind of camera is it?
Mine, it's my camera I use. I've got a Sony camera, and I've also got a new mobile phone now, which obviously I use for personal use. But my camera is a Sony 8X 3000, and it's a lovely camera. It's a nice, compact little thing, and it's good. I like Sony's because they're brilliant for night vision and low light photography. And the other camera I've got for low light is I've got Olympus, which is also good, but it's got a bright flash on it. It's like a sun exploding. It's that bright. So I don't tend to use it on the investigations or anything, to be honest with you.
But this A1 you've got, what you said you use,
it's AI one, yeah.
Where did you get that from?
That one I accumulated off the internet land. I found a company, and it's basically, I said I can't really show it because it's on top of my, it's underneath my camera now. Like I say, it's got a lens on it. It's looking at me right now.
Right.
If I move, it'll follow me around. Or if it picks something else up, it'll follow it around. And what I've thought about doing with this little guy is, if I left my camera in a location locked off one night, so somewhere with this in situ, rolling, if it picks something up, it'll speak it straight away. And it'll capture it.
Well, I suppose it's like one of them cameras you have in shops where they can pick things up.
Yeah,
because you're able to use that in your own room, or maybe if you could use it outside in a certain place and see if there's anything following you around
exactly.
you.
That's why I checked this tonight to set this up. It knows I'm on my own, and if it picks something else up, it's always scanning. So if it picks something else up, it'll pan onto it. That's what happened at East Drive.
You'll have to send us the link for it.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. It's a while since I bought it now. So what I'll do is, as soon as I finish this interview, I've got to nip out tonight. So when I get the chance, I will send you pictures of it as well. You know what it looks like. Yeah, you know what it looks like.
I might get one.
Yeah, it's a good little thing actually. For technology, I mean, like I said, it's used properly.
It's operated.
It's rechargeable.
Well, that's good.
Like a mobile phone. Just like a mobile phone, you plug it in, it charges up, and I'll tell you what, to be honest with you.
Then you can stand it anywhere then.
Yeah, basically. And to be honest with you, I think since I've had it, I've only charged it twice.
That's good.
Yeah, but there's a little back size of a Coke can, and it's got a little stand on for your camera or your phone. I mean, you can buy battery operated ones, but they're not as good.
They're not as good.
No, the battery operated ones are all right, but not as good as the rechargeables.
You better with recharge, I think.
Yeah, it depends what you're using, because I mean, some torches, and I've got quite a lot of torches, and I prefer the standalone battery torches to the rechargeable torches.
Yeah, I've got some of them rechargeable ones.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
charged them up, but you can go to some places and weird places where you get there and you've charged your torch up, and when you get there, battery's gone dead.
Yeah. It's like this one here. I've got a couple of torches down there. I've got this smaller one, like that, and this is not rechargeable. This one just takes AAA's in a cradle, and that is it. But to be honest with you, I don't tend to use this. I've got a lead lenser, and it's the size of a pen and the thickness of a pen, but It takes 2 AAA batteries, and it sits in my pocket nicely, and it's bright as hell. I tell you, it's bright as any big torch I've got.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a
Sounds
brilliant little thing.
interesting. That is.
Yeah, but I have downsized. And I say people carry massive things around me, but with me, and so my next book as well is everything I carry around with me fits in my pockets. Like, I'm not carrying massive bags or kit around with me or tripods with me everywhere. That's the essence of my next book, basically a pocket ghost hunter guide. Everything I use or I recommend people to use fits in your pockets.
Yeah. Dowsing rod's a good thing to use.
I love dowsing rods, definitely. I was fascinated by those things. I must admit, it's the same with
They've always
use.
been used over the years, haven't they?
I mean, originally devised for dividing water and stuff like that. But I mean, you use it for all
You
sorts
can
of
ask
stuff.
them for anything, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, everybody used it in the old days. People used big coat hangers. It's the same job.
Done that before today. I've made some
Yeah,
and then given people. Said, use them.
Exactly.
Don't go out and buy them. Use those. And I bought biro pens, took the thing out of the middle, and put that round it so they can swing it.
Yeah, and I tend to find, if you are using dowsing rods, I'd recommend copper or brass because they are the best conductors for you.
I've got some brass ones now, and they fold into a pen.
Oh yeah.
And you can pull it out like that, and it does it.
Yeah. Amazing.
I got them quite a while ago, and they're really good, proper copper.
Yeah, I've got some downstairs. I must admit, it's hinged as well. Not hinged. We've got like a sleeve on them.
Yeah,
we've got a massive sleeve on them as well. So, but they're quite good because with some of them, you can see people when we hold them, they hold them straight or manipulate them with their hands, not unknowingly. So you tend to find with one with the sleeves on, we can hold it and we don't manipulate it because there's nothing to manipulate.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So tell us where you can get your book. We're not far off, end it, show.
Now, my book, it's available called Restless Realm by myself, Barry R. Frankish. It's available on Amazon right now. It's the £5.49, the paperback version, or you can buy it on Kindle for £2. But I'd recommend a paperback version. If you ever see, I can sign it for you and buy you it.
Well, it's not a bad price, is that really?
That's right. I was always advised when my first offering as a book is don't overprice it because it puts people off. And it's a small book. And so I thought what I'll do is get people used to how I work, how my mind works, my ideology. And then on my second book, I can go a bit more in depth and work it up from there.
Well, that's the way to do it, really.
Yeah.
And when I say, a lot of books, books are about £9, £10, £15.
That's right. I believe. I mean, to be honest with you, to some people, it's £10 a lot of money. I mean, not everyone. I'm not made of money. I mean, so I tried to make it affordable for people. I mean, the whole point is ghost hunting on a budget. You don't want to spend £20 on a book you can't afford to buy if you're trying to do figures on a budget. So £5.50, I think, is quite a good value.
Did you get somebody to publish it for you then?
I published through KDP, which is Amazon themselves, Kindle Direct Publishing. So I did it. I self-published it, which I believe I've been told is the best way to do it. So, and it's done all right for me, I must admit.
Oh, you can't knock that then.
Exactly.
Can you?
And I thought to myself when I first wrote it, I thought even if no one buys it, I can say my book's out there with my name on it. And it's something I've achieved. But it's been quite popular actually. Yeah, I've had some good responses from me. I've got some good reviews on it, and I'm quite pleased with that. Stateside, some people at States have bought it as well, and I'm pleased. I mean, I'm thankful to anybody who's bought it and read it, and hopefully. Exactly. I mean, I'm not a massive author. I'm just my first offering as a book. For my first attempt, I don't think it's too bad.
Oh no! Did you find it easy to write then?
Yes and no, because you tend to find is when I wrote it, you tend to go off on you start writing away, you tend to go on a tangent, or you go down. You tend to write about something, but it goes into totally something different altogether. Go off on tangents, so you have to be careful of that. But I've cut it down into snippets and things, and it flows. And some days I wouldn't write, some days I get all in my head at once, so I can get it down before I forget. You get days like that. It's like writer's block. I didn't get that, unfortunately, thankfully. But I mean, to people who write all the time, I can sympathise. I mean, it took me long enough to write one book. Never mind 10, 15 books.
Yeah, my mates, I think he's wrote 5 books now, 6 books.
Yeah.
Got a documentary out called Wolfland.
Yeah.
But he likes writing.
Yeah, I
He
must
can
admit,
just sit down.
I
He'd get
enjoyed
up
it.
at 5 o'clock in the morning and write at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because he's one of these early riser like I am. I'm an early riser myself. I like to get up.
I'm an early riser at work because I have to work early, you see. So well, I'm an early riser for that. But when I tend to be on my days off, if I'm not planning doing anything, I'll be doing something else, or I get distracted by something else. So I've got a bit mood for writing.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're about come to the back end of the show. Thank you for coming on the show. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
I am on Facebook under Barry R. Frankish or BRF Paranormal, which is my Facebook paranormal group. Anyone's welcome to join it. It's Paranormal Paraphernalia. You can advertise if you run a ghost hunting company, a book, even if you've done anything paranormal based. You're welcome to advertise on BRF Paranormal. There's no limitations, and as long as it's paranormal based and it's respectable and it doesn't upset anybody, it's welcome. That is on Facebook. Also, I said myself, Barry R. Frankish. My personal profile is up there. And I've also got an Instagram account, which I'll be honest with you, I don't use much. I'm on TikTok for a few little bits and bobs, but my main avenue is with Facebook at the moment.
Yeah, right. Lovely. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you for the invite.
That's okay. My guest next Wednesday is Mindy Troutfest. She's a near-death experiencer, UAP. She's an author, speaker, TV personality. She's wrote a book, Dying to Meet Them. She's next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific, and 8 p.m. in the UK. Well, thank you again. You
My
take
pleasure.
Care. Carry on doing what you're doing best.
Thank you very much. And to everybody listening, everyone listening right now, have a good, happy and a brilliant, safe New Year.
And same to you. And Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you
and
very
send
much.
me the link to the A1.